Young Chickens, here we are again talking about Uncanny Counter. And before we even get started, head on down to the comment section and tell me how you're enjoying the drama so far. As for me, I am still really getting my life with this drama. I'm having the funnest time. I am loving it. So, going into episode, what episode is this? Going into episode 7, we have Mun getting caught in the replay of his memory, trying to find out who killed his parents, and the evil spirit somehow senses that he's there. Like, wow. Like, Hana, the one who is experienced in going back in the past and visiting dreams, she's like, this doesn't happen. So the fact that the evil spirit is so strong to be able to sense their presence and try to fight them, that's crazy. And did you see when Mun kind of traveled time dimensions? Because as soon as he hit the evil spirit, like he punched him in this replay of the dream, he punched him and he was transported to his secret lair. Oh my goodness. And honestly, I'm a little bit afraid for Mun because he's so upset about the death of his parents that he is so fixated on killing this evil spirit, and he seems like he's not calling him back up like he should all the time. Yeah, that definitely worries me. But this time he narrowly escapes being like taken out by this evil spirit. But when he's transported back to his bedroom where he had been visiting the dream with Hana, that's when he realizes after some time where exactly he was. He realizes where the evil spirit's lair was, his hideout, right? And it was a junkyard. So they rush over to this junkyard to look for this evil spirit, and they call the lady from the police station who is Motok's ex-girlfriend, right? Remember her? She works at the police station, and honestly, I really like her. The only good cop in her police station. I respect her integrity. Anyway, they get there and they're looking around. The evil spirit is already gone, but they find a body he's left. I mean, oh my goodness. Remember when he killed the guy that he called Abaji, like his adopted father in the last episode? Well, they find his body crushed in a junkyard in a metal car. I mean, obviously cars are metal. Yeah, they find his body crushed in a car. So that was like really sick, right? And what the police officer does, which is really cool, she doesn't immediately call her police station. She calls the press first. And I was like, this girl, she's a thinker. I like her a lot. Anyway, they miss the evil spirit and they have to continue looking for him. So Motok decides to keep looking into his past. And he's still looking into the case where a girl named Kim Nim? Kim Young Nim? I don't know. Oh my goodness. The young lady that died. So this stuff is really interesting because the young lady who died, we can't quite figure out if she was the mistress of the guy who was running for office, why exactly she was killed. I'm so glad, honestly, that I was watching this whole 2 episodes with discerning watchers who were telling me what was going on with the political drama and the police station drama and, you know, the gang drama. It was a lot. In fact, my sister said like it was almost too much. How do you guys feel about it? Because I'm still happy, I'm still engaged, but I know that if my sister wasn't in the room, I might have skipped those sections. So I'm really glad that she explained them to me. But anyway, here's what's going on. Besides the mystery that we can't quite figure out about why this young girl is dead, whether she was the mistress or not, we focus on 2 brothers who used to be straight up like gangbangers, like street rats in Korea. Anyway, they figure out a way to cleanse their records per se, and one of them becomes the leader of Taishin Corporation, right? And the other one just stays like a gangster and does the bidding of his brother. But it's really interesting, that dynamic is because you have one who ends up owning the corporation and one who's just doing all the dirty work of the brother who owns the corporation. And these 2, what they've been doing is they have been going around to different businesses and kind of like buying them out is too kind of word. What they've been doing is they've been forcing them out of their business. They go around to small businesses and they make sure that all of their contractors pull out, and that they become that small business's only lender. And then at the time that the small business is supposed to repay the loan, they make sure that the small business loses everything. So then they become in control of these small companies, and then they put puppets at their head, puppets that they can control. So in this way, they not only own Taishan Corporation, but they own a bunch of small businesses in the city. And I think the city's called Jungin. Anyway, that corruption is going on. But even higher level than that, these two brothers are under the thumb of a guy who's running for president right now. There's this guy who is like repeatedly referenced in this drama, and I thought for a minute that these gangsters were over him, but no. This guy running for president is running the whole show. So that's interesting. I would like to know more about this guy in particular and why he has the edge over these gangster brothers who seem to be running town. The next episode. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of plot. Did you guys get all that? Am I missing something? I'm trying my best, I promise. So, after all that, we go into the next episode and we find out more about Hana in the Grim Reaper fighting group, because her uncle reappears on the scene. Her uncle is already an evil person, but possessed by an evil spirit. And it turns out that he ends up on the news for killing one of his employees. So that is when Hana gets the signal on him, because you remember she's the one in the group who can sense evil spirits. So she knows that she needs to go and stop him. So it's a really cool moment because she busts in with the Grim Reaper group and she gets to like kick him around and like she puts golf balls in his mouth and like punches him. Anyway, it's pretty good. And it was also pretty heartbreaking because she's remembering how much she loved her sister. And a key thing of that whole story I told you about the groups buying out the small businesses was that that's exactly what her uncle had done to her father. So basically, what is suggested in the story is that her uncle was under the thumb of these two gangsters, you know, willingly, I don't know. But then he bought out her father's business and then poisoned the rest of her family. I mean, they didn't say directly that he poisoned them, but I really am suspecting because he seems like he's very okay with murder. Like he murdered someone at the start of the episode and it looked like he was going to murder somebody else. And so then when he's saying that he didn't poison all of her family with pills, I don't believe him. So anyway, that's what's happened. And finally, he's so wretched, he goes to jail. And so that makes me really happy. They exorcise the spirit out of him and then he goes to jail. And we actually get to check on the evil, crazy, evil spirit lady from like 2 episodes ago. And honestly, guys, I told you, even though she's bad, that actress plays crazy so well. She's actually kind of fun to watch. So it was fun to see her in jail. Like, first they thought she was faking crazy, and then they were like, you really need a psychiatric test. You really are crazy. So that was interesting. Wow. Is there anything else? Oh my gosh, yes. So I totally forgot that I told you about the 2 brothers, right? The one who's owner of the Taishan Corporation, the one who's the gangster boss, right? Well, the one who's the owner of the Taishan Corporation, as per his usual, he tells his brother, I want you to go take out Motok. I see that he's still alive. Take him out and take out all the people who are staying with him, right? So that means that they're driving in the Jeep, right? First they show up at the noodle house and they try to beat them up and take away Motok, and they quickly show them like that is not happening, not in the least. And in fact, the older lady, I forgot her name. What is her name? Anyway, Mrs. Chu comes out and she slaps around the gang leader, and it's just hilarious. And it's very clear that they cannot take him away. So then they try to take a hit out on the whole group. So they're driving in their Jeep and, you know, they're driving to like go explore what they think is the reservoir, I think. And that is when they slam into them with a truck. And you're kind of worried because not only do you see them like bleeding, but you also see the spirits in the higher realm who are occupying them. They totally like hit the floor, take a nosedive. Like you're really worried about them. But it's really funny because after the truck hits them, That's when they step out of the truck. It's like they just brace themselves. They step out of the truck and they walk towards them, and it's like, you tried it, right? They were not dead at all. They were ready to fight. And that's when the gangster brother ran around. He's like, oh my God. Because now at least he knows to run, right? So it isn't quite okay because the spirits in the higher realm are getting mad at their human hosts per se, because they're using a lot more of their powers and getting more involved in human affairs because Motok refuses to stop investigating his past. So that's a dynamic that's happening. But finally, at the end of the episode, here are two pieces. They find a reservoir, and they think that originally, like, that it's a new reservoir, but it's a different reservoir. They find a reservoir, and what they find at this reservoir is that there is a whole waste dump there. And the waste dump is running water into the city water supply, like damaged, dirty, like water with corpses in it, all kinds of stuff. And so, like, they're disgusted, it's unethical, but what can they do? Should, like, they tell, the government, but would they just get a fine? Like, they don't know what exactly to do about it. And they also suspect that the young woman's body, who they've been looking for this whole time, Kim Young Nim, they suspect her body is in that reservoir. So that's where we are with that. They finally found the reservoir. And then Someone at the end of the episode, he meets that evil spirit again. The evil spirit has been tracking him. The main guy who killed his parents all those years ago. He has been having his eye on him, and he comes to Soman's neighborhood, and he's ready to fight him. And so that made me nervous because Soman looks like he's gonna be trying to fight alone again, and he shouldn't be doing that. I hope that he calls his team. So it is a lot of stuff. Like my sister said, almost too much stuff. How do you feel about it? And I was wondering, earlier on, I was like, they have a lot more episodes to fill. How are they going to fill them? And then all this stuff came up, and I think that they can. So, I had a great time watching this week's. It looks like we'll be skipping next week because it says that the next episodes come out on January 2nd. But I will see you then. And if you enjoyed the content, we are only 7 subscribers away from 100. 100. So if you like it, please subscribe. And I love you, chickens. I will see you next time. Bye. In the morning, in the evening, or sometime in between, I hope that you will see some Lexi on your screen. Subscribe. How does perfection feel?